Welcome everyone to my Bitcoin update. It's been a bit, probably 3 months since I've done any type of update. This is Big Sky Crypto. Hope you're all doing really well this weekend, and appreciate you taking the time to view this. Um, I don't have anything super technical to talk about, just some observations that I'm making for this current market cycle. Like everybody else, I'm kind of wondering whether we've seen the peak. Um, Bitcoin hit a little over 109,000. You can see right up here in January. We peaked. Since then, we've been trending downward. Um, so, like I said, like everybody, I'm trying to decide or determine the best I can whether that was the peak for this market cycle and if we're moving into a bear market. Um, it would be a little out of the ordinary, I guess I could say, for Bitcoin is for as far as if you believe in the 4-year market cycle, which the previous two market cycles were pretty much almost perfect 4-year market cycles. If you measure from bear market bottom to the next bear market bottom, they were almost exactly 4 years. The peak of each of the last two came within the late in the third year of the market cycle. We got the peaks, and then basically you had about almost exactly a year from the peak down to the next bear market bottom. So this one, here's the bear market bottom, 2022 November. This is the bottom. Since then, we've taken off, gone up. So if this was the peak for this market cycle, it would be, just at the beginning of the third year, which would be fairly early, but I'm not ruling that out. It's possible. With all the institutional investing, the ETFs, the spot ETFs, all that, it's possible that the 4-year market cycle is going to change. I think eventually it will. Whether this turns out to be a true 4-year market cycle, similar to the last two, we'll just have to wait and see. But I think eventually that it will change. Just looking at what I have, I've got a 3-day chart here just so I could fit all the data on the screen. You can see currently, like I said, we in December we got up a little over 106,000. That set a new all-time high, and then, like I said, here in January we went up to a little over 109,000 to set another new all-time high. Then we've been trending down. We were kind of in a channel here, similar to if you go back here in 2023. From March 2023 until we got this breakout here in October, we were basically in a sideways consolidation channel. Broke out, moved up, set a new all-time high up here in March of 24 at, I think it was just under 74,000. And then we were kind of stuck in another consolidation. This was kind of like a downward sloping channel. And then we broke out here again in October. It's kind of interesting because these both sort of begin in March. and then we get a breakout in October. So they're pretty similar in length. I thought that was kind of interesting. Then we shot up here, to just under 100,000 where we are currently. We were staying somewhat in a channel here, and then just recently we broke. I can zoom this in. We broke down out of it, and we've come back up. We're kind of testing the bottom of this channel. I don't know whether we'll have to see whether we can get back in the channel and continue, or if, like I said, this 109,000 was a peak and we're going to get rejected from the bottom of this channel and head farther south. We did have a period here where we broke out down. This was in August of last year, but it was a quick spike, wick down below. We got below 50,000, but it recovered. I think it was a 1-day event where it dropped down. It never did, from my recollection, close outside of this channel. It got back into the channel before the daily close. So this one's a little different here. We'll have to see if it gets back in the channel, like I said, and we continue and possibly go higher, or if this is kind of the end and we're heading into a bear market. I'm leaning toward that we're not heading into a bear market yet, but I'm keeping an open mind that, it's possible, especially if the economy really, continues to worsen. If inflation increases, it's kind of come back a bit. I don't know. Looking at grocery prices, I don't know if it ever left, but the inflation data's showed a little bit of an uptick in the inflation lately. So if that continues to get worse and the economy worsens, then that could have a negative effect on Bitcoin's performance. The other thing I noticed when I was just looking at various charts, different time frames, I went to the monthly, and it's kind of a mess. Let me clean it up a little bit. Here's that. Actually, let me switch to a different, might have been this one. Yeah, this is the one. What I noticed was, and this, I've got the stochastic RSI indicator down here on the bottom. And looking at the monthly, what I noticed was that when it dropped below the 20 level, I'm looking at basically since the beginning, all of Bitcoin's price history, all the market cycles. And when it dropped below the 20 level, that was the end. It marked the peak. You can see the peak happens before. In the approximately the second month after the peak, you see the drop below the 20 level. That's what all these red lines are. Happens pretty consistently. I can kind of zoom into the indicator here. You can see where it drops below the 20. These lines I couldn't get them to match exactly where it drops below, but they're close. And currently I think we're at about 41 on the indicator. We had a pretty sharp drop because of, January was not the best. February was really bad month for Bitcoin. Um, this month hasn't been too hot either. So this is dropping. Um, I'm watching it closely. I mean, to me, if over this next month this crosses below, then to me that's an indication that 109,000 was the peak, and this market cycle's over. If we get a rebound like we did back here in May of 20, this is when we had the this is actually May of 20, would have been just after COVID, but we had this drop in the indicator here before it recovered. And actually the peak, this is the double top in 21, which the second peak, you can see how low it is on the indicator. But anyway, if we do get a recovery, if the market cycle isn't over and we end up peaking, if it matches the last two market cycles, last two 4-year cycles, I would expect a peak later this year, later this fall, similar to the other two. Doesn't have to work out that way. That's just kind of something I'm kind of watching for. But if we do see a recovery and this bounces back up, that would be good, obviously. If it continues down and crosses over this 20 level, then to me that's the end. You can see this drop here was a lot more toward the middle of the market cycle, which here we're like I said, we're kind of in the beginning of the third year, but it's a little later in the market cycle than this one. It would be probably more similar to this August 2013 drop, where we had the peak, the bull market peak. You can see here we had this peak and kind of a correction before the final parabolic move to the ultimate peak here. To me, that this one looks more similar to this one, but I'm by no means no expert on it. This is just something that I noticed, and that I'm watching. Someone a lot more knowledgeable could comment and tell me whether, I mean, this might be something that's, that everybody's aware of and is watching. Might not be any major discovery or anything on my part. It's just something that I noticed when I was going through various time frames and different indicators and just looking for a pattern of something, trying to determine how the market cycles end, what they look like when they end. And that was just something that I noticed. So I doubt it's any huge discovery, but just something I'm watching. So that's pretty much all I've got to say, I suppose, on that. I mean, I'm hoping, like anyone else, I don't want the market cycle to be over. I'm hoping this is just that we were just kind of consolidating up here, and this is just a temporary correction out of the channel, and that we'll be pushing back up over the next days, weeks, whatever it takes. Just kind of slowly trend back up into this channel. So I guess that's it. That's all I was coming on for. No big earth-shattering news or discovery. Just some observations that I've had. I know, like everyone else, um, my portfolio is pretty sorry looking. I mean, I have trimmed some positions over the last couple months, um, just to take a little bit of profits, and I mean, but I have held on to other positions, and so now that's what I'm trying to determine if this is actually over. I definitely don't want to hold, you know, everything through the whole bear market. Then I'm trying to determine whether I should be adding at some point. Um, so I'm watching uh, the indicator, like I said. I mean, if the 2 month mark passes since the 109,000 peak and the indicator, is nowhere near the 20 level, if it either rebounds or is kind of trending sideways, or I may take that as an indication that Bitcoin, that the market cycle is not over, and that we are gonna go higher. So at that point, I might start adding to some positions. Altcoins have just gotten destroyed. So, I mean, if the market cycle isn't over, I mean, it's going to be, as far as altcoins, it'll be probably buying opportunity of a lifetime, as cheap as they are. I mean, they're down 80%. A lot of them are, depending on the altcoin, but a lot of them are down a ton. So that's another thing I'm trying to determine, is whether to move back into some of the positions I got rid of and add to others, or whether it's over and just get rid of everything, go back to stable coins, and start planning for the next cycle. So anyway, that's about all I got. Like I said, nothing earth shattering, just some observations that I've been making, and I guess that's it. And hope you're all doing well, like I said. And I appreciate you if you've taken the time to listen to this whole thing. I appreciate you taking your time. And hey, maybe I'll do another toward the end of the 2 month period. Maybe I'll do another update just to show where the indicator's at, and what my thoughts are then. So take care. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later.